Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our next edition of the Poznan Atlanta Executive MBA Alumni Association's webinar series. I am Austin Campbell, and I am your host for tonight's webinar. Tonight, we are happy to have Edyta Kazmierczak-Pawlak with us. Edyta has been in HR for 14 years, working through challenges in global companies. She is now the head of HR at Int4 AG, a Swiss-based company. She's here to share some of her HR insights with us tonight. And welcome, Edyta. I'll pass it to you.
Thank you, Austin, so much for your kind introduction. All right, and thank you everybody who has joined the webinar to find out a little bit more about HR and the area of misconceptions, assumptions, and expectations. While preparing for this webinar, I had a session with the organizers and family members of Executive MBA Association, and I just asked them, so what would be interesting for you to hear during this webinar? So let's start with some questions that they had. What's the fuss about when it comes to HR and why it brings so many emotions? Like and there are so many misconceptions, expectations, assumptions. First of all, when I was preparing for this webinar, it came to me that just simply we have conflict of interest at the very beginning, and we are supposed to, the world expects us to support employees, managers, external parties, and businesses. And they all may have different kind of interests. We are just facilitating the process. We are helping out, we are advising. But at the end of the day, we are not the decision makers when it comes to that. When it comes to salaries, in each company, it's going to be different, but it is again, like employees, managers, are the people responsible for their own salaries. When you're an employee, you may always ask for a raise. When you're a manager, you may ask for a raise as well. You may give a raise or you may not give a raise. So you may decide, or sometimes in big companies, for example, you are being given a percentage of the salaries that you can spread across your team, and you're deciding who's going to get what. So we are again facilitating this process. We are supporting the manager, supporting the business, but at the end of the day, we are not decision makers when it comes to salaries and raises. So maybe with the advice that we are giving, some kind of decision may be hidden, but still we may advise not, but the manager, the business still can follow with the raise or not. So when it comes to culture, here to put it this way, you don't need to worry kind of about culture, because every company has a culture, whether that is written, declared or not. Every company has a culture. So you may have unwritten culture as well, like workaholic culture, or I don't know, rise and shine culture. I'm just coming up with the names right now because the people and how we behave in the company, what kind of breaks we are having, what kind of fun we're having, how we communicate, whom we tolerate, whom we don't tolerate. It's all in us, it's all in people. And what HR roles is here is to help shaping that culture for the benefit of the company and the people.
If we connect a little bit to AI, when you talked about hard skills versus attitude, how do you see the balance trending between those two? because I've heard it said that attitude is actually getting more important because hard skills, some people are predicting, will be more and more possible to do with the AI, whereas somebody's attitude and how they do their job is not as easy to teach. Now,
from my perspective, first is hard skill, because if you have the hard skill, then it's going to be easier for you to adapt to the company. It is going to be better for you, like to feel more comfortable. And if we are more comfortable in our roles, we behave much better. And this is going to be the trend in the future. First, the skill set, then, of course, along with that, the attitude. At the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, what value do I bring to the company? With whom do you want to work? Do you want to work with a person who's doing nothing and is complaining all the time? Or do you want to work with a person who is open, curious, and wants to deliver, and then bring fun to the company because they are eager and they want to work? So hopefully I have answered your question.
Hiring internationally, Edyta. So, what are some of the other challenges you find when you're hiring somebody who out of their home market? What are some other challenges that come out when you end up hiring across markets like that?
The same challenge as you would have like hiring people in your local market. So why is that from my perspective? I believe that we are all kind of individuals, being raised in our own families, being raised in our cultures with a historical background. Okay, so you may say, okay, so the person from Germany has a different background than the person from Poland. But actually, a person living in Poland in the same environment, with the same history, may have a different background.
So thank you very much again. Thank you everybody for attending, and please keep your eyes peeled for information about our next webinar. We will let you know soon about the next one. But today, thank you very much, Edyta. That was very helpful.
Thank you so much, and have a great evening, everyone.